Hello and welcome to episode 36 of Life in General. My name is Nick.
I am Ian.
And we are joined by...
Eric.
Yeah, Eric's with us today. As always, you can email us any questions or comments to lifeingeneralmi@gmail.com. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Twitter at LIGpod. And also check out our website, which is lifeingeneralpodcast.com for all of our previous episodes. We're on iTunes, Podbean, Google Play Music, TuneIn Radio, all sorts of different places. Right, Ian?
Yes.
Yes. You concur?
Well, I don't like to agree with you very often, but in this case, I think I will.
Well, I think you normally have to, don't you?
No. Just listen to our last podcast to find that out.
Yeah, recently Ian's been argumentative with me.
Just recently?
I know, always, but...
I'm always argumentative with you. Comes from the fact that you're generally wrong.
Well, I'm not generally wrong.
There's a general wrongness about you
whatever.
sometimes.
Whatever.
Just out of curiosity, just will interject here. Our coworker the other day when you had mentioned the podcast, she asked me what show she should listen to. I said
everyone always says that. Everyone always goes, "What episode?"
Yeah, and I said the first one ideally, but
no, don't tell them.
Then she goes, "What's your favorite?" And I'm like, I don't know. What is my favorite? I don't know. Do I have a favorite?
Why are you asking me what your fucking favorite is?
What's your favorite?
I think probably our Cards Against Humanity episode was pretty good.
That was pretty good. Yeah. I got a lot of feedback on that just from a couple people.
Yeah. Our Larry Nassar episode was pretty good too.
Yeah. I don't like the darker stuff though. I like the funny stuff.
Yeah, but it was I don't know. It's still a good episode.
Eric, what's your favorite episode?
Whatever episode he's on.
So the Cards Against Humanity one probably stand out for you?
This is what, the fourth time, Eric's?
I think so. I don't know. How
3 or 4, I can't remember.
Well, we did the episode on homebrewing.
Yes.
Okay.
That was
and then we did a...
Star Trek versus Star Wars.
Yep.
Oh,
so
yeah.
This has got to be 4.
No, and then Cards Against Humanity,
Mm-hmm.
and then this one, and then he was also on the World War III, War with North Korea episode.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you were.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Why are you asking me? That's like you act like I'm here all the time.
I mean, I could have been toasted, which is possible.
Yeah, so you're our most popular guest host, Eric. How about that?
I must be the only one.
I was just going to say, we don't have a large pool to choose from here.
Well, Ramon's been on the show a couple of times.
But you've definitely been on more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
that's probably true.
Because honestly, Ramon's only done 2 shows. And he did one of Life in General and one of the Entertainment Now.
No, he's done 2.
Oh, that's
Life
right. He
in
did
General.
legalization of marijuana.
Marijuana. And we also did the show when after he came back from
That was the first.
BET Awards.
Yeah, that was the first one he did.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been here a couple times for our show.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of marijuana, Eric, did you see that? This is completely off topic, but
Yeah, well, our topic's kind of lame to this. Not lame, but it's lighthearted.
There's
so.
talk that the Michigan legislature might preemptively legalize marijuana,
I heard that.
so they can,
Keep the voters down.
so
they figuring-
reduce voter turnout come November.
Yeah, I kind of have mixed feelings about that one. I did hear that one. I mean, it's a kind of a dick move on their part for the reasons they're doing it.
Yeah,
But ultimately, I think it's inevitable.
I think it is.
Well, Ontario's supposed to be legalizing it in the next year or so. So what are you going to do? Keep it? I mean, it's right up there with we can drive across the border and drink at 19.
Yeah,
Well, and here's the other thing. Yeah, they're doing that, but ultimately it still falls on the voter for not going in the first
True.
place.
Very true.
No one's telling them they can't. It's just you're taking one topic off the ballot,
yeah.
and if that keeps you home, then
But
that's your
a
problem.
lot of people, I think probably most people are one topic voters. They've got their one thing that drives them out.
Yep.
So
yeah,
I think
but
if there's
in the age of Trump, we really should be thinking outside the box a little bit. You think?
well, I think regardless of who's in office,
True.
we should always think outside.
Yeah, but
the
this
box.
is kind of like the obvious thing. It's like when you don't go to the doctor because I'll get over it, but then you're coughing up blood.
Yeah.
You're like, I guess maybe I really should go to the doctor.
Wow, I got cancer now. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we do. The country has cancer.
Well,
There's a cancer.
I don't know.
Ass cancer.
All right, so our topic for the week is so Ian had an idea because we were trying to figure out what we were going to talk about. Ian wanted what did you want to talk about?
Well, it wasn't that we were trying to figure out. I was just bored at work, so I made a list of things, and this was just one that came to mind. And it was alien abductions and UFO sightings.
Which is something we've talked about privately before. We've never
Yeah.
talked about it on the show.
And I mean, there's not really anywhere we can go with it. I just think it'd be fun, just kind of a lighthearted episode to, make fun of the crazies and point out that there is possibility for.
See, but the interesting thing about it is, I didn't do a whole lot of research for this show, but I kind of pulled an Ian today and just kind of showed up to talk.
Mm-hmm.
But I did kind of look into it a little bit. Apparently, the first recorded UFO sighting was around 1440 BC in ancient Egypt. So, but even going back that far, there's been this recurring theme through a lot of these. Which the first one was they reportedly saw fiery discs in the sky, and it's always been like that kind of saucer object, which is kind of interesting, over thousands of years.
Indeed. Well, there's that painting, that famous I don't know what kind of fresco kind of painting it is. It's a Christian painting, but in the sky there's a disc shaped glowing thing. Yeah,
I've never heard of that before.
No, you got to watch it. It's on YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube.
Ian's the resident YouTube
conspiracy weird thing going on. Yeah,
fanatic.
It must be real. I saw it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, the painting is real. I don't know. I don't know what if it's depicting something real. It is a religious painting, so you've got to take that into account.
Yeah.
Don't look at me like that.
But anyway, the first recorded sighting in the U.S. was in the late 1800s, I think. It was apparently between 1896 and 1897. There were there's not a listing, but they just say there's numerous reports of UFO sightings in and around California for some reason.
Huh.
But the first recorded one on a certain day was in April of 1897 in Aurora, Texas. Apparently, some people buried an alien pilot. Apparently.
Oh. Ironically, this is the same time that Joseph Smith was coming up with his Mormon religion, where they actually go to a different planet where God lives.
Kolob.
So,
it's Kolob.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe that was in the...
But hey, now, hold on. Was the alien wearing magic pajamas also?
Well...
It's hard to say.
See, and that's what's kind of funny about the whole alien abduction and UFO thing. Is if you talk to obviously I don't talk to anybody who's been abducted, but you see all these reports, they always describe the aliens as naked, or at least they never describe their clothing.
Huh?
I don't know if you noticed that. Like when they do the reenactments, the aliens are always naked.
Maybe because they put all their money into the spaceship. Damn it, they didn't fucking have money for pants
for spacesuits.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Maybe in 700 years, humans will walk around like that too. When we're caught up to the...
That'd be kind of cool. Well, maybe not.
If I'm 700 years old and still alive, I don't think anyone's going to want to see me naked. Because I'm 40 years old and I'm alive and no one wants to see me naked.
I was going to say that.
I don't want to see me naked.
But it's always kind of funny, too, because you always see whenever you see the videos of these people that are supposedly abducted, it's always like the crazy people. You look at this person, you're like, yeah, this person does look like they're playing with a full deck of cards.
Right. Well, typically speaking.
But then again, maybe that's on purpose. Maybe the aliens are like, all right, let's abduct this motherfucker right here because no one's going to believe him.
They look for the most podunk out of the way area. They're like, yep, you know what? Nobody's going to care about these people.
Yep.
But see, that would imply a certain level of understanding of human nature and human culture where it almost make you wonder, why do they need to abduct us? They already kind of understand the way we work.
And why do they always anally probe people? What do they have with anuses?
Maybe it's for funsies.
Like, hey, I'm going to take this motherfucker right here, and we're just going to stick something up his
I mean,
ass.
hell, we have people that go to Africa and shoot a freaking elephant for no reason.
Yeah.
I mean, same shit.
Poking people in the ass? Whatever.
Yeah. Whatever your thing is.
And hey, at the end of the day, the humans get to come back alive.
But isn't it always
the
like,
elephants don't always get that luxury.
Isn't always, what are they called? The Greys or something like that?
The Greys, yeah. They're the short ones with the big heads and the big eyes and like little mouths.
Up until when we had an episode about conspiracy theories. I didn't even know there was like different names for different aliens.
There's at least 12 different races that are supposedly either controlling our world or have at least visited our world. I don't remember all of them. I just remember the Greys and the ones that look like Nordic, like elves.
What are those called?
I forgot.
So you don't know.
Well, those are the ones I remember because there's like
you'll
there's
remember
there's
their
like the
names,
lizard ones, the lizard people ones, and the reptilians they call them.
Yeah.
What about the crab people?
From the Crab Nebula. I don't remember all the different types. There's a video that actually breaks down every individual alien race that's supposedly here or has been here.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you think about it, with the infinite universe or space that we have,
Relatively infinite.
yes, there's got to be some other.
Well, mathematically speaking,
there's got to be other life forms out there.
I don't remember the equation, but there is an actual mathematical equation that even if one out of so many million celestial bodies held life like us, there would still be millions and millions of sentient humanoid type life.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily humanoid, but at least intelligent life.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's hard to find intelligent life here.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. But you also have to take into account that we are still at a very early stage of evolution.
We are.
You know, we're still very, very much connected to our primate ancestors in many, many ways.
Well, because you figure modern civilization's only been around for, what, a couple hundred years, basically?
Well, that's modern, but I mean, civilizations that we know of go back, say, 12,000 years.
Yes, but for a vast majority, it was extremely primitive.
Right.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, if you go back more than like 1,000 years, if they had run into anything kind of like an
It
extraterrestrial,
would have been religiously.
it would have been religious
described.
or witchcraft or take your pick or not real. I mean,
Right.
in any case.
Well, there's a lot of people who don't think it's real now.
Well,
you know,
right.
But,
And I personally,
it's a lot. We're at least advanced enough to see if something is seen like that, we're not automatically assuming it's God or the devil or some other,
right. We could take an
spiritual
objective approach.
Well, relatively speaking.
Yeah, relatively. But I mean, the biggest problem is not that there could be life out there, because I kind of believe there is somewhere in the universe.
Like I
other
said,
than
mathematically speaking.
Right.
There's got to be something.
It's just distance.
Yeah.
That's your
Well,
problem.
there are some of our physicists have kind of come up with ideas on how faster than light travel is possible. So at least it's in the realm of possibility now. And if we're coming up with that now, you figure any race that's at least 500 years or better ahead of us, they've figured it out.
Yeah.
The question I ask is, there's nothing special about this planet at all.
But I'm sure there's other...
Maybe from an anthropology, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From anthropology,
yeah.
that word that I'm trying to say. From that level, there might be some interesting things going on here. But, I mean, just look around. The human race is not that special.
No, but I mean, if you think about it, other planets where if there are other life forms out there, they probably feel the same way about their world, and we would always want to, check them out, I guess. But
I suppose it's all I can do is approach it from maybe the Star Trek perspective, you know.
But even if you look back a couple hundred years, I mean, they would take voyages to very distant lands just to observe the wildlife.
True.
So that's not out of the realm of possibility. And also, have you seen Predator? Maybe there is reasons for that.
Yeah, to hunt us, sure.
Yeah.
That I can see.
That's true.
Again,
Food.
we're still prime, and food, to serve man from Twilight Zone.
Yep.
We are a plentiful source of food. There are 7+ billion of us on the planet.
And a lot of us are fat.
Maybe that was always the plan.
Yeah. Well, and then there's a lot of not to jump too far into conspiracy theories, but there are those people who believe that Earth, we are the product of seeding from alien races.
Yeah. Yeah, I've read that before.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole show on the History Channel called Ancient Aliens, and they've delved into that a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, is that the dude with the hair?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. I don't know how far he's gone into the whole alien seeding Earth, but it's from the perspective of the show. Aliens have been exploring our world since the dawn of time.
Huh. I mean, there are cave drawings and stuff that I've seen.
Well, there's that one Egyptian hieroglyph that appears to have a helicopter in it, and it was buried for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And then there's that painting that's a couple hundred years old that's got that. And there's other, like you said, there's other cave drawings and stuff that don't seem to make sense for the time.
Yeah. Which, with people that look like the Greys,
Right.
Yeah.
Or objects in the sky, then the figures are looking up at them.
Yeah.
But those could just as easily been their gods as they perceive their gods.
Or maybe they thought the aliens coming down were the
Right. Well, that's the Stargate philosophy too. The movie Stargate came from the Egyptian gods. God of Ra essentially was an alien, and he was using us as slave labor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's fun.
It is. It
was
fun.
actually a really good movie. I
Yeah.
thought
They're
personally.
remaking it.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Well, I have mixed feelings about that.
I don't
thought
remember
it
the
could have
first
been
time
better.
The
I don't
first
think
one's
so.
pretty good.
Is
It was
it?
Kurt Russell,
James Spader.
James Spader.
I know
yeah.
I've seen it, but I don't remember it at
Oh,
all.
okay.
For what it was good. I don't think it needs to be remade.
Yeah. Well, they're remaking everything now.
Yeah.
There's no original ideas anymore.
Right.
I think there's original ideas, just no one's paying for them because they don't make money in the theaters.
Well, they had original ideas.
Yeah,
like-
I mean, we got original ideas. That's where 3 Billboards came from.
yeah, exactly. I was just getting ready to say that.
Were you? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm jumping all over your game
I
tonight.
know you're killing me, Smalls. Which I didn't find. I think it was a very good movie, but
Yeah. But if you want our total review, you need to listen to Entertainment Now.
yes, we did review that movie.
We did.
That'll be out next week.
Stay tuned.
Yes. So do you guys believe in any of these alien
I have never
sightings,
seen
or-
a UFO. I have never seen an alien. I believe that life exists outside our solar system for sure, and in advanced states, whether it be advanced like us or way more advanced, or maybe just slightly less advanced.
Yeah.
But I believe there is life like us, and there could even be theoretically be life that looks exactly like us, because even though you would assume that most alien cultures would evolve differently on different planets, there's no reason to think that how we've evolved is necessarily just a unique thing. Other races could have evolved just like us. That was one of the arguments against the Star Trek model, where all the races looked like us, just with makeup and
Yeah.
theoretically, this could be a prime type of evolutionary way,
Yeah.
So who's to say? But I believe that that's all possible.
I don't know. What do you think about it, Eric?
I'm kind of halfway with Ian. I think that somewhere in this universe, as big as it is, there has to be some other intelligent life somewhere. However, now that every single person on this planet has a camera in their freaking pocket, it's really hard for me to believe that there's any
that's
sort of...
why you're not watching enough YouTube. Because if you go on YouTube,
There's
there's
lots
actually
of videos
channels
of-
that do weekly updates of sightings.
Yeah.
Huh. Maybe I do need to watch more YouTube.
Now, I don't want to sound too crazy, but I have seen something that I could not explain.
Nick, you'll never sound as crazy as you did on our religion episode. So go on.
I should have been here for
Ian
that.
only wishes.
Well, no.
I was the sane one. But anyway, no, so I was,
Believe in
this is
invisible
probably
beings.
like late 80s. It's like 80, gosh, couldn't have been more later, like 87, 88. So I was younger. I was up at my grandparents' house up in Houghton Lake. It was me, my mom, and my grandmother. And I remember, I don't even know what we were doing, but we were looking out the window over the lake, and it was late at night. It was probably like 9 or 10 o'clock. It was dark. And there were 3 lights in the sky that all 3 of them went in different directions, and they made sudden movements. So it wasn't any kind of like plane or anything that could have been. And it was in the sky for at least 20 minutes, going all in different directions. And I don't know what the hell it was.
It's very convenient that you didn't have a cell phone on you at the time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not saying it was a UFO, but I don't know what it was.
Well, when you say UFO, it just means that all that is unidentified
Yes, okay,
flying
fine.
object.
I don't know if it was
Alien.
little green men in a flying saucer.
There you go.
But I don't know what it was or what it could have been.
Right.
And it's not like I don't think there's any kind of Air Force base or anything up there where they could have been testing,
I'm aware of. Military
Yeah.
stuff. Well, if you ask some people, all that military stuff that they're testing came from aliens anyway.
Possibly.
Roswell and all the other crash landings that have appeared or apparently happened.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, theoretically it could.
anything's theoretical until it's proven wrong, right or wrong.
Yeah. Speaking of Roswell, what year was Roswell?
47.
Was it 47?
August, I believe. August of 47.
Because I didn't see that on my little list here.
Well,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
essentially been debunked, but there's still people who hold on to it.
Has been? How has it been debunked?
It was debunked by the Air Force. I mean,
Well,
take
because you
that
can
for
always
what
believe them.
Well, I'll take it for what it is, but there hasn't been anyone who's come up with evidence to prove that the debunking was true.
June of 47.
There's the one guy who is famous for being in the photo of holding the weather balloon, and he said that was not what he was looking at was a weather balloon, but before that he was looking at something completely different.
Oh, really?
And that look that he has in his face when he's holding the pieces is him going, "What the hell is this?" Because this is not what we were looking at before.
Was that the guy that was doing the investigation? Or?
No, that was one of the Air Force people who was brought in to investigate the crash or whatever had happened. But the famous newspaper photo, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know his name.
But it was kind of funny that after that happened, it kind of fell off the radar until the late 70s or something like that.
Well, there was a lot. Well, think about this. Take this into account. I don't know if you ever heard of the Battle of Los Angeles.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And they never really found out what that was.
No.
And that happened pre-Roswell.
Yeah.
And there's other. I know there's other. Well, I think one of them.
Battle of Los Angeles was February of 1942.
Okay. And then there was. I think one of the first documented abductions was in the 50s, wasn't it?
Was it? I don't know.
I think so. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the first documented one was in the 50s, early 50s.
Yeah.
So I mean, it didn't fall off necessarily. That particular story did, but
yes, that's
but
what
the
I was
phenomenon
talking about,
kept growing way past that.
Yeah.
But Roswell is now a big tourist attraction because of it.
And I kind of thought about something. You don't really hear anything about crop circles or anything like that anymore.
Yeah, crop circles never made any sense to me because it's like, why do you travel all the way here, millions and millions and millions of miles, just to draw on our planet and draw on something that's not permanent?
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Now, what does make me curious is that that cutout in the rock that you can only see from the sky.
Yeah, I've
down
seen
in South
those.
America.
Those are interesting.
What is that?
There's like these. There's one that's like it almost looks like a landing strip,
but
you can only see it from the sky. And then there's a shape of a bird carved into a mountain or something around a rock face. Again, you can only really see it from above.
Yeah, the shapes are so big you can't really see them from the ground at all.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
weird. They're in South America. They're huge. I mean, you can find them anywhere online.
Yeah.
Pictures of those.
Huh.
So I mean that it does make you wonder because either you have very clever humans who know how to do that. I mean, it wouldn't be hard to figure it out.
Yeah.
But not. How would they know? They would have no way of knowing if they did it right.
Exactly.
And then there's the purpose. I mean, they could have been trying to appease their sky gods or something else. But, the landing strip one is the one that really gets me. The bird thing I can kind of just chalk up to religious zeal, but the landing strip one doesn't make any sense other than it being a landing strip. But then again, why would an alien race need a landing strip for...
The race wouldn't need it, but I mean, it could have been some sort of interaction between the people and whoever, some religious thing. Because as like you said, if they had at that time encountered any sort of aliens, they would have just viewed them as sort of religious figures,
right? Gods of some form or another.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Those are the only crop circle-y kind of things that intrigue me, and plus. They've proven that humans can do the crop circles
with
very little effort.
Yeah.
Over the course of a night.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, those are hoaxes. They have to be because there's no rational reason to jump from humans did it to aliens did it. There's nothing in between, and unless there was something in between, it seems to me to err on the side of rationality and say that was just humans.
Yeah.
True.
So same with the mutilations, the animal mutilations.
Yeah, those are weird ones. I mean, I guess I can't see any reason for
humans to do it just for shits and giggles.
Well, I wouldn't say that because humans have done weirder shit for shits and giggles.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I guess I can't see any reason for aliens to do it either.
Right, because I mean, if they're going to experiment, they're just going to take them with them and, just dump them into space.
Yeah,
why bring them back?
Yeah, why mutilate an entire flock rather than just take one and do what you want?
Right. Which would make more sense.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, we're looking at it from human rationality. Maybe rationality on another world is different than ours. Who's to say? What do you think, Nick? You're staring at your screen. You obviously found something interesting.
No, I'm just looking at the pictures of these runways and stuff. It's really weird.
Isn't it? Did you see the bird one yet?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Okay. The bird one is interesting, but again, I just see that as humans trying to find some way to communicate with the gods.
Are these what you're talking about?
Some of them, yeah. The person one is another one, but no, there's the one I'm really talking about. It literally looks like an actual modern runway, but it was carved.
Oh no, yeah, the runways. I saw the runways, but these are carvings out in the desert in South America, like in the middle of nowhere.
I haven't seen those, and I don't know what the dates are on them, but I know the bird one for sure is well over several hundred years old.
Yeah. These are from Peru.
Yeah, it's all in that area. So
that's really weird.
The crystal skull supposedly originated in Peru too.
Oh God.
Just
I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about the actual crystal skulls that they found. They found some in China.
Oh.
And they found several of them in South America.
Well, when you say Crystal Skull, I automatically think of the terrible movie.
It's not that terrible.
It's not until the very end of it.
Right. And the ending kind of is. But, it's funny. People rip on that movie because it's like transdimensional beings, but they're okay with the breath of God melting Nazis.
In a movie.
Or a chalice making a man age to the point where he turns to dust.
Yeah.
And healing Henry Jones
I
Sr.
think it's more so just the alien part of it is what people have, the actual aliens.
I understand that. And that's not the direction I would have gone either, and I don't like it necessarily. But everything up to that point is, to me, it's fine.
I like the movie. I thought the movie was good until the very end of it.
Yeah.
And even with the end of it, I wasn't. I didn't hate it.
Yeah. People piss on that movie way more than I think it deserves.
No, yeah. I as far as the movie goes, I liked it. By the way, we're talking about the last Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah.
No one knows what we're talking about.
I'm sure they heard Crystal Skull and thought the same thing.
Unless they haven't seen it.
Most people have seen it.
I wouldn't say most people. I would say most people would see Star Wars. I know a lot of people that haven't seen Star Wars.
That's true. Yeah, there's a few renegades.
Yeah, I work with a couple of those, and I have to look at them cross-eyed. Like, what?
Yeah.
What is
wrong with you? It
with
just doesn't
you?
even make sense, because even people who don't, they have to see it at least once.
Just even the original ones.
Right.
Just see those, get in on
if
all the in jokes, and move on with your life.
Yeah, I don't know.
I never asked you, what's your opinion of Last Jedi?
I liked it.
Where would you rank it, roughly?
Oh hell! For all of them?
Yeah. See, I'm sad. I'm not sad to say it, but it's just not a popular view. It's my second favorite of all of them. After watching it 10 times. Yeah. No, I know you're looking at me like I'm. No.
I am. I'm looking at you like you're a moron.
No, because it's the Star Wars reboot that everyone needed without rebooting it.
There are at least probably 2 huge issues I have with that movie that kind of ruined it for me. Mm-hmm. That was the way they killed off Luke at the end of the movie.
Okay,
and the whole
that's kind of what elevated it.
The whole Princess Leia floating through space kind of thing.
That's what bothered you?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, let me tell you what bothered me. They decided they could destroy an entire Imperial fleet with one freaking ship. Why was that not plan A, B, and C?
Yeah.
You just broke space combat. I'm done. Like,
I did see there was a meme that went around and it showed that and it said you can do this, but then there's a Death Star.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I get it, but hey, there's a lot of things in StarArs that aren't believable.
Are we sure
we
couldn't just fly?
It's space fantasy.
Are we sure we couldn't fly one ship into the Death Star and destroy it?
If they went at light speed, theoretically, it would have.
Well, then why didn't we do that?
Well, because we weren't there.
Well,
Well,
maybe we should have been.
Think about this. Say Luke Skywalker in A New Hope takes it upon himself to just go, you know what? I'm light speeding through that motherfucker, and I'm taking it out. And he does, and then Darth Vader just flies away, and the rest of the Empire keeps going on like nothing changed. They build their other Death Star, and
they do it again.
And someone else does it again, but Darth Vader and the Emperor are still like chilling. They're like, hey, no Jedi came to fight us off.
Well, the answer is always more suicide bombers, right?
Yeah.
And that's the other thing.
With the Japanese side.
Because if you think about it, and this is actually kind of occurred to me after seeing Rogue One, how much of the rebellion is a terrorist organization?
Yeah.
Up until Rogue One, it is a terrorist organization. We're rooting for the terrorists.
Oh, dude.
How un-American are we?
I don't want to be stupid, but there's this Reddit thread called "The Empire Did Nothing Wrong," and it's all kinds of stuff like that about the radical terrorists.
See, that's right up there with Daniel LaRusso being the villain of Karate Kid.
I still believe that.
I know.
And that was an illegal kick at the end of that movie.
I'm not going to argue with the illegal kick because I don't know, but he's not the villain of the movie. Granted, he could have done things differently too.
I understand. Okay, I'll give you that he's not the villain of the movie, but I can see where he can be seen as a villain in the movie. All he had to do was shut his fucking mouth and stay out of somebody else's business.
Yeah,
Then he doesn't get beaten up.
But you know
and
what?
The whole movie doesn't happen.
There's nothing wrong with standing up. If you see someone being bullied, standing up for him. That's all he did. And he didn't even go after, he didn't say anything to Johnny. All he did was pick up her radio that he had smashed on the ground and hand it back to her. And then Johnny got in his face. He didn't get involved.
Stay out of somebody's business.
All I'm saying is maybe he should have, but I felt he was doing the right thing by at least trying to be helpful. And he did not deserve to get his ass kicked for it.
Hey, you know what though? If he doesn't get into someone else's relationship issues,
he didn't know what the relationship was. All he knew was he was pushing her around.
So keep your ass out of it.
You're telling me that if you saw a young girl being pushed around by a guy, you wouldn't say, "Hey, whoa, whoa."
Depends on the situation.
Yeah, well.
But I can see situations in which I would say, oh, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. I'm not going to get involved in it.
Well, it wasn't like he was just walking by. He had been talking to her.
Yeah.
Her whole demeanor changed. I just watched it recently, I'm telling you. And I watched it with the intent of trying to find how I could be wrong about this, and I'm not. He is not the villain of the movie. He does make mistakes, but he's not the villain of the movie, and I will not comment on the legality of the kick because I don't know karate tournaments.
According to the karate rules, that's an illegal kick.
Well, you know how many different types of karate there are, too?
But any kick to the face is illegal.
All right, well.
And that was a kick to the face.
There's a couple times in that montage where people get kicked in the face or punched in the face.
Well, there you have it, folks. LaRusso was an alien. Let's move on.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, Eric. We get very off the beaten.
Off topic.
I have noticed.
It keeps it light and funny and
we go off the different paths sometimes.
Yeah, well. It is what it is.
When we discover that Ted Cruz is not of this world, will he be removed from Congress?
Well, he's a lizard person.
Yeah.
There's already a video on that.
Well, and not only that, but even if he's not a lizard person and we're being completely rational, he's not really human either.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, I don't remember what I was going to say now. But yeah, Ted Cruz is something else. That's a completely different topic.
I don't know how he's still in office, to be honest with you. Nobody likes him.
He is not human.
I mean,
it's the only explanation.
Well, I mean, I guess that gives the lizard people theory some credence, because if he is a lizard person, somebody's pulling some strings to keep him in office.
It's Texas.
That's true. That's just the answer right there.
Texas.
It's Texas.
The only state that can out crazy Texas is Florida.
You don't think Alabama could out crazy Texas?
No.
No, they can't.
Miami,
because they're very predictable.
There are face-eating zombies in Miami.
Yeah, but that's drug induced.
No. They said the guy had there weren't any bath salts or anything in that guy's system.
Huh.
He just felt like it.
He was just naked eating people's faces.
No.
You can't out crazy Florida. Sorry.
Wait a minute. Is that a bad thing?
Do you ever see the picture of that guy's face?
I thought it was the bath salt guy. I haven't seen his face. I saw the video of that guy eating.
Just Google. If you ever want to see something really nasty, just Google Miami zombie victim.
Oh, the guy who got his face eaten?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't need to see that.
Oh my gosh, that's nasty.
Is he still alive?
Yeah. There's pictures of him now online too.
See, I don't know if I want to look at that.
His face all put back together, and
because I'm just picturing,
and his eyes are like skinned over. He has no eyes or anything.
I'm just picturing Mason Verger
Yeah,
from Hannibal, the one Hannibal Lecter victim that survived because he drugged him and made him cut off his own face and eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he fed some of it to his dogs. And I'm just picturing that.
What year was that movie made?
That came out in 2000. 2000 or 2001.
Because right around that same time, early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, there was a guy that did that. He
cut off his own face and fed it to the dogs.
I don't remember if he fed it to his dogs, but he took a bunch of PCP or something, and took a piece of glass and cut his face off.
Yeah, that could have inspired the book because the book was written in like 2000, and then the movie came out after. But
which movie was that? Face Off?
No. Watching Face Off just made me want to cut my own face off because that movie's terrible.
That was a terrible movie.
Yeah, I know.
All those movies were
I know. Because I'm sorry. in no realm of suspension of disbelief am I going to believe that Nicolas Cage now looks like John Travolta, and John Travolta now looks like Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I will believe in floating land space and anything else. I'll believe in God before I believe that that's even legitimately possible.
Yeah, because
they're not built the same.
No, that's what I was going to say. Why change swapping their faces? Why did it completely change their bodies also?
Yeah, I mean everything changed. Nicolas Cage has a very thin head, and John Travolta has a very thick head.
You know, it'd be really funny to see it. I wonder. I'm sure there's probably a picture online where someone has superimposed their faces on each other.
Just the face part.
Yeah.
So everything else is the same, like it should be.
They should have made that the movie. That would be hilarious. He's just walking around pretending to be John Travolta. And you're like, no, dude, no.
It's John Travolta talking, but Nicolas Cage's face moving. That would be awesome. That would be an Oscar-winning movie.
Oh, that'd be terrible.
Well, it's not any more terrible than the actual movie we got.
Right.
I know there's probably people out there who love that movie and they're like, I'm never listening to these fuckers again. It's pissing on my fucking face off. Yeah, that movie's terrible. What are you typing?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
We're not worried about that.
We're not worried about much. This is just a very light episode.
So what's your favorite alien invasion movie?
Oh, that's a good question. Invasion movie?
Or, a movie that involves aliens that's not set
Close Encounters is way up there.
It is. Yeah, that's a good one.
Because it's just so wonderfully shot. For what it's worth, I liked E.T. when I was a kid. It was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid.
E.T.?
I saw it in the drive-in 6 times.
Didn't that make your eyes water?
Yeah, well, from a 3-4-year-old's perspective, my eyes were watering, but from an adult's perspective, it was making me cry. Because I have a soul. And that movie can make you cry.
It's been a really long time since I've seen that movie.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I don't even think I've watched it in adulthood, to be honest with you.
No.
Well, when it was released on DVD, it was released in 2 versions.
Was it?
Yeah, there was an upgraded version where all the police officers' guns were replaced with walkie-talkies.
Yeah, I
to
heard
take
about
all
that.
the guns out.
Yeah.
But,
Are you serious?
But they still had the theatrical versions in the package. And that is why Steven Spielberg has sworn off ever touching any of his movies ever again.
That was around the same time they started redoing the Star Wars movies.
It was shortly after, and Steven Spielberg learned his lesson there. He says, "I'll never touch up any of my other movies."
George Lucas, not so much.
Yeah, well, for what it's worth, some of the changes he made with the special editions, I actually like. There's a few I don't. I don't like the Greedo shooting first, and even though I guess in the script he did have it saying Greedo shot first, I don't like that, and I don't like the Jabba scene, although it doesn't take anything away from it. Other than that, I mean, everyone else's bitching is just nitpicking. It became very popular to piss on George Lucas for a long time. People are still pissing on George Lucas. They were pissing on him for making the movies, and now they're pissing on him for selling the movies. It's like, this guy can do no right.
Yeah, no one's ever going to be happy.
And now they're pissing on Disney for The Last Jedi. They're saying Disney destroyed Star Wars. They didn't fucking destroy Star Wars.
I wouldn't go that far.
What they did was they allowed a writer-director, to take a chance and make something different. He made that different. After everyone bitched about how The Force Awakens was exactly the same as A New Hope, this director decided to do something different, and now everyone's pissing on him.
I like that it was like A New Hope, though.
For what it was, but you didn't want The Last Jedi to be exactly like Empire Strikes Back.
No. I just didn't want Leia to be floating through space and...
She's Jedi sensitive, so what the fuck?
So I couldn't find anything with their faces swapped, but I did find that Nicolas Cage is apparently a time traveler.
Yeah, I told you about that in our conspiracy one. I told you there was a picture like that.
That looks just like him.
Isn't there one like that about Keanu Reeves, too?
I don't know about Keanu Reeves. Johnny Depp. I found one about Johnny Depp after we did our show. And then it's Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, yeah. The Jay-Z picture is fucked
uncanny.
up.
Really?
It is uncanny.
Yeah, it looks just like Jay-Z.
Damn it.
I'll see if I can find it real quick.
One of these centuries they're going to stop skating by.
Yeah, well... The thing is, with the Johnny Depp one, it looks like Johnny Depp, but it looks like a young Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp doesn't look like that anymore. He's aged, naturally.
Right. Keanu Reeves has not.
A bit, though. I mean, he doesn't look like he did in Bill and Ted.
A bit, but
he has aged well, for sure.
It's been a long-ass time since Bill and Ted.
That's true. Well, it's been 30 years.
It's a long-ass time.
Shut up.
So this is a picture from like the 20s.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
it's uncanny, isn't it?
That's
All
Jay-Z.
I know, for all you listeners out there who actually can't see what we're doing,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
we're looking at a picture of Jay-Z from 1920s.
And there's a black and white 1920s picture that looks exactly like Jay-Z.
Yeah, it's
Google
weird.
it. It's awesome.
It's
makes you
surprisingly
and
uncanny.
it's in Harlem, I think, is where the picture was taken.
Is that where he's from?
He's from Brooklyn, I think.
Oh, okay.
No, he's from Harlem. He just traveled to Brooklyn to start his new identity.
Right.
Yep, that's what happened.
He just moved one borough over. They won't know. They won't know me.
That'll trick him.
It's like Clark Kent wearing glasses.
Hey,
parting his hair on the other side.
Hey, don't go messing with mythology, man. It works in the comics.
Hey, wow.
It doesn't make sense. He wouldn't be able to see.
Right.
Hey, apparently Michael Jackson is a time traveler also. But
that's a painting, so that could.
I know that, but
That's
apparently he was white.
And then became black, and then went
black.
back to white. And he's surprised. The picture of him is surprisingly similar to him after all of his plastic surgery.
Yes.
I forgot who it was. I was watching some show, and they were talking to somebody who met Michael Jackson in person.
Peter Dinklage is also a time traveler.
What?
All midgets look the same.
Wow.
He's a dwarf.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, there's Keanu Reeves.
Oh yeah. Again, it's a painting. I don't trust paintings because anyone can doctor those up. You can doctor photos up too, but it's a little harder. But anyway, I forgot who it was. They were talking. They had met Michael Jackson, and this is like post most of his surgeries. And they said up close, his nose literally looked like plastic.
Yeah, I have.
Like
heard
it was.
that.
He said it looked like it was spackled on.
Well, it was tragic because he had like some major
Yeah,
issues.
that's
Holy crap.
see what I mean though. But that's Johnny Depp young. That's not Johnny Depp now.
Yeah, that's still Johnny Depp.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like Johnny Depp in like 1999.
So, folks, here's the new conspiracy theory. These are all aliens. These are all the ones. Holy.
That one's not as close.
Yeah.
But see that looks like Brad Pitt now, opposed to what Brad Pitt looked like 25 years ago.
That's true. That's
You know,
true.
so he got younger, then it got older again.
This is hilarious. Okay, so this has got Ellen DeGeneres, but it's got a picture of
Some old guy with a
someone-
big beard.
It looks just like her if it was a
eh.
guy.
With a beard.
200 years ago.
If you put a beard on Ellen, it could look like that. But
That's-
I mean,
that's-
Ellen has a beard, doesn't? No, not anymore. She's out in the.
Yeah,
she's out.
she's
now,
out,
but
she's out.
She doesn't have a beard. She never did have a beard.
No.
Really, now that you think about it.
I thought it was only guys had beards.
Women and the lesbians can have beards too.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
wow. This is Jennifer Lawrence?
Yeah,
Is a time
and-
traveler also,
Yeah, but
apparently.
isn't that Audrey Hepburn next door?
Or is it?
Ooh, you made that sound ominous, Nick.
Dum, dum, dum.
And it's only your the ominousness of that is only diminished by the fact that this is audio.
So all of the, so pretty much all of the celebrities are time travelers, is what I'm
Yeah.
finding
It
out.
looks that way.
Which is better than them all being Illuminati reptilians, because a lot of them are supposed to be that too. Or
well, they could
I guess
be.
they could still be both.
They could be. Very well could be.
Or immortal aliens that are sent to spy on us.
Wow, this is really
or
weird.
control our society.
Putin is a time traveler also. From the 20s, the 40s, and 2015, that looks exactly like him.
It does, and I can almost believe it with him.
He's been cloned several times.
Yeah, I almost buy the cloning of him more than anything.
That's really wild.
And it's like Multiplicity. The more he clones, the more like off he gets. Did you ever see the movie Multiplicity?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
he the thing is, he's not really off. He knows
Yeah, I've
exactly
seen
what he's
that one,
doing.
too.
Jimmy Fallon?
He's trying really hard to fuck shit up.
Well, I think he actually believes that he could theoretically rule the world.
Well, it depends on how Trump.
That's the
turns
first time
out.
I've seen. First time I've seen Barack Obama as a time traveler.
Yeah, but see, again, that's a statue.
It looks a lot like him, though.
I-
Don't say
I
it.
would
Ian.
assume-
Don't say it.
What? I'm not going to say the racist thing, no, because I don't believe that. But what I was going to say is that
Wow.
there's probably, you have to understand that at some point there has to be a limit to the variations of the facial structure, right?
Well, yeah.
And those limitations will be eventually seen through a genetic line. And theoretically, we're all kind of connected genetically speaking anyway. So there's no reason to think that there can't be, for a lack of a better way of describing it, genetic reincarnation, where genetic features.
That's a really good one.
I like the fact that the bruise is kept in place.
It's one of Sylvester Stallone as a time traveler.
Yeah.
And it looks like they've both been beat up.
Right.
Actually, it's not Sylvester Stallone's a time traveler. That's just Rocky is.
Yeah. Oh, Rocky himself.
Yes.
You know what's funny? Have you ever seen a movie called Jupiter Ascending?
No, I haven't, but I've heard it's really bad, but I still want to see it because that's the one with Mila Kunis, right?
Yes, it's bad, but it's actually got some interesting points to it.
Okay.
And actually, one of the key points in that is that Mila Kunis's character, if anybody really wants to see this movie and doesn't want to hear
Some
spoilers,
people like Mila
shut it
Kunis
off.
just for that.
No,
just
I'm
for
just
looks
saying
and
that
shit.
I'm going to reveal the whole movie. So anyway,
Oh yeah, I'll still see it eventually. It's sci-fi.
but they had this thing where when someone is, because they're like essentially immortal because they can kind of replace their genetics, but when someone dies, eventually their genetic code is reincarnated in the same configuration, and that was her deal. She was genetically identical to royalty that had died in the past, and it's just sheer luck. But because of that, since everything's coded to your genetic structure, you basically inherit
Whatever your genetic structure.
Yeah,
says
because you are the reincarnation of that person.
Uh-huh.
So I just thought that was an interesting idea that you mentioned that yes, there are limited configurations.
Yeah, and
On a global scale.
theoretically, like I said, there has to be a limit to the genetic combinations that make us who we are, and eventually again, it says theoretical, but eventually it's going to have to duplicate eventually.
Or at least come very, very close.
Very close,
if you
yeah.
compared yourself to every single person on the planet, I guarantee you'd find at least one that looks pretty much exactly like
I
you.
mean, everyone says that there's a doppelganger for
Right.
all of us.
Right, and that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think so. And, simplistic level.
But getting back to UFOs and stuff,
Right.
there was just earlier this year, I think it was in January. Let me look here. Back in January 13th to be exact, there was a large group of UFOs that were seen in 3 different locations in California.
Huh? Did you ever read the story of the Phoenix Lights?
No,
Look it up because it was huge. It was 80 or 90 something, 97
Why don't you
maybe.
tell us about it?
I'm not very good at describing this shit, obviously, but it was a series of lights in the sky over Phoenix, Arizona.
You said it was in the 80s?
It's 90s. And it was picked up by tons of different people with cameras. It was even the news had picked it up.
Oh, okay.
The governor had said, we're going to investigate this, and then he ended up making some big, schlocky thing out of it. So he did a news conference saying, this is something. We've all seen this. We got to figure out what this is. And a week or two later, he's like, we figured it out. And he had some guy dressed in an alien gray suit come out and go, oh, we've been visited, and made a big joke about it.
Oh.
So everyone said that he was covering up he was told to cover up what he had seen. But
March
all of Phoenix.
Yeah, March 13th, 1997. It says, lights and craft of varying descriptions, most notably a V-shaped pattern, were seen by thousands of people between 1930 and 2230 Mountain Standard Time.
Right.
That's military time there, Ian.
I know. We use it at work, remember?
Yeah.
And I hate it. I don't use it at work.
I don't either. And it says...
It's so much easier, guys. Just embrace it.
Thousands of people saw it in the span of about 300 miles.
Yeah.
From the Nevada line through Phoenix to the edge of Tucson.
I'll embrace military time when the United States embraces the metric system.
Fuck
fair. Fair enough.
Metric system.
Which will never happen, so it's okay. But yeah, back to the Phoenix Lights.
Work as a pharmacy tech. It's all metric.
Yeah. And now that I read that, I vaguely remember that too.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I didn't see it obviously, but there's a lot of video footage online for it. People were videoing it all over. I mean, granted, it's grainy because it's old school, camcorder type stuff. They didn't have phone cameras then.
Well, apparently, a couple months later in South Africa, there was a video taken of a hovering cylindrical light or shiny cloud. That's what it said.
I will say this. I've noticed it's a very minor pattern, but back in the day, whenever you saw a UFO video, it was always a disc shape.
Yeah.
I'm noticing a lot of videos are coming out where they're not. They're almost like something out of Star Wars or Star Trek.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen a few online, and I mean they could be fake too. I don't know, but it's happening more and more where they're showing up and they're seeming more realistic. At least in my sci-fi mind, they're more realistic.
Yeah, I mean, because like I said earlier, it seems like they've been kind of describing the same
thing for
thousands of years.
Right.
So it would be kind of strange to start seeing something different, I guess. But then again, that one that happened in Phoenix was a V-shaped object.
Right. Well, see, but some of it broke off too. So it was like in a flight pattern, because some of it would go off like this, and then it would always generally kind of come back.
Yeah.
In the videos I've seen, but it starts off as like there's like I think 12 lights total.
Yeah.
Like 6 on one side, 6 on another, and they're like in a V-shaped formation. But then they start to move off near the end of the video.
Huh.
So it's like there's multiple vehicals.
Yeah. There's definitely there's a bunch of really interesting videos on YouTube and stuff on the internet to check out. But I don't know. Is there anything else you really want to say about it? I mean,
I don't think so. I mean, kind of is what it is.
It's an interesting possibility.
Yeah. I mean,
it's probably
it's
something.
Not I see it more as like a future probability,
and that's what I was getting ready to say. It's something that we'll probably never find out in our lifetime.
Unfortunately,
right?
Yeah, unfortunately. But then again, I mean, we are moving forward in space exploration, at least as far as Elon Musk and his SpaceX programs and stuff. And they are talking about having men on Mars within the next, say, 10 to 15 years. Yeah. Once we start dipping our toe out there, there's a possibility, because we should have brought up the fact that several astronauts have come forward and said that they've seen stuff.
Yeah.
The one of the Apollo 14 astronauts has said so. A couple of the one or two of the Mercury program astronauts said they saw stuff out there.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
NASA's live feed from the space station cuts out generally at impromptu times for technical difficulties, but people swear they see something right before it cuts out.
Really?
Yeah. And then there's the Black Knight satellite, which I don't know if anyone's. I should have brought it up at the conspiracy theory one, but there's supposedly an object that's orbiting the planet and has been there for many, many decades that we know of, and has been caught on camera by space shuttles, and people have seen it even from the Earth, I think. But it's like this big, giant, unknown object that's orbiting the planet.
Really?
Yeah.
It's probably just space junk.
Well, that's what most people have said, but they're saying that based on its size, it's space junk that should have either just crashed because it came from from outer space.
Yeah.
Or it was put there because it wouldn't be orbiting as big as it is.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'll check it. I'll check that out.
Yeah, look into the. I mean, there's NASA video of it.
Yeah.
From one of the space shuttles. So
okay.
You can see it, and check out the NASA live feeds. There's people who record it, and they're like, oh look, it cuts out right when you see something flying across in the background.
Yeah, but something flying across the background could be a lot of different things.
It could be a lot of different things, but there's one where there's two objects orbiting above the Earth in the distance, and then they start moving outward, and then the feed cuts.
Really?
Like they're moving slower, like they're moving away. Normal.
Well, that'd be interesting.
So yeah, they're out there. Check them out. I can't attest to the veracity or the truthfulness of these videos, or if they've been doctored. All I'm saying is they're out there.
If they're on the internet, it's got to be true. It wasn't that the old Abraham Lincoln quote.
I think he said something about that at the Gettysburg Address.
Yeah.
Yep.
He said, check this shit on the internet later, bitches.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. I know that's the...
it's okay.
That everything on the internet is true?
Yeah.
Because it's self-evident?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Okay. I mean, you got anything else to add? I mean, either one of you?
No.
Nope. I mean, I think it'd be great if we do eventually have irrefutable proof of aliens. I think it would be interesting for the planet in general.
It would be.
I don't think we're there yet, but you people that live in areas where you think there's aliens, keep those phones handy. Get us a clear picture, not blurry, please.
Next time
focus.
Next time the alien is probing your ass, take a selfie with him.
Exactly.
Is all we're
Because
saying.
we take selfies for every other
Yes.
thing.
Right.
We might as well take
Yes.
a selfie for the anal probe.
Yes.
The first person to take a selfie with an anal probe, I guarantee you will be famous.
Don't say that
forever.
because you're going to get a lot of pictures of guys with dildos up their ass.
No, I don't want that.
Look, we're doing it. We're doing it.
You'd be lucky if it's only dildos up there.
Right. This 5-pound butt plug. Look,
No, well,
big jelly fist.
no cucumber. We see cucumbers and stuff like that sometimes. And,
I don't understand this obsession with putting produce inside of you. I don't even like to eat produce. Why would you want to stick it in orifices?
I've heard of people stuffing footballs in their asses too, but
Yeah, well,
that's a completely different topic.
well.
completely
Join
different
us in
topic.
2 weeks when we discuss all the different ways
my
and
God.
things you can shove up your ass.
No. Ian will be doing that show by himself.
Well,
Hey,
I'll tell you what. I'll do all the research for the show. How's that?
I bet you would. I bet you would.
I've
all right.
already started.
And okay, on that note, if you got any questions or comments, you can email us at lifeingeneralmi@gmail.com. Check us out on Facebook, on Twitter, all the social media stuff. Check us out on Podbean, iTunes. That's about it. Hey, thanks for joining us again, Eric.
Yeah,
Oh, no
absolutely.
problem. Thanks for having me.
You help to balance things out sometimes.
Yeah.
It's entertaining.
All right. Well, until next time.
Talk to y'all later.
Peace.
See
Stay
ya.
probed.
Play my role, let me tell you about it. This shit right here, man, about it. Only real niggas reside around me. Yo, old lady, drop a guard around me. Dip like I know you can, bitch. Show me the ropes like we in the ring. Got you two cobras, you wanna hang. Shoulder to shoulder, them niggas basic. You know I won't lie. You know that I ain't for that fuck shit. You niggas alright, but I'm way better and she love it. Know that y'all sick as fuck. Here go this tissue, bruh. We taking the dub, hoping you get you some. This hit like a pick me up. She taking my drugs. Know they see the sign. That's some dollar signs. Know they sick as fuck. Know they sick as fuck. Tell them get well soon. Tell them get well soon. Know you sick as fuck. Get well soon.
Oh shit, watch out, you the god, Billy. Oh shit, right now, and I'm smiling in your face, bitch. With a gold smile, you should probably make placement to your eye. Niggas sick as fuck, standing with niggas who down for that party, who down for some bitches who showing their bodies. Swear to God, nigga, this my